Hello. In today's guide, I'll be talking about knowledge. I will briefly be talking about how to gain knowledge, the different types of knowledge, and why you should even care about knowledge. If you hit H on your keyboard, you will see your knowledge or ecology screen, and in the bottom of the screen here it says gained knowledge. On this new account, I'm up to 225 currently, and if I scroll up to the top here and collapse some of these things, we can see different categories of knowledge. Characters being the NPCs that you run around and talk to, topography being the locations that you visit, and ecology here for the monster knowledge in each territory, adventure logs for questing and amity and interaction with NPCs. And you can look through all the categories yourself, and if I go into, for example, learning the ropes basic guide, I can see that I already have knowledge for value back. If I hover over the next one with all the question marks I don't have knowledge on yet, I can see that it tells me exactly how, through dialogue, that I can gain this knowledge. I'll go into characters here and then people of Eastern Balanos. I'll then click residents of Velia, and here you can see I've met nearly all of the NPCs except for just one. If I hover over it, it tells me Velia Cave Explorer, and here you can see it says energy plus 2 out of possible 2, meaning I can go gain knowledge, but I can't gain any more max energy. I'll hit escape to leave that menu real quick to show you energy. I have currently 74 available out of a max of 74. You will use energy for questing and life skilling, and I will likely make a guide on energy in a future video. But without going into too much detail, just know that energy is very important and is one of the major benefits of gaining a lot of knowledge. If I click on Velia vendors here, I can see I have the plus 2 out of possible 2 energy, and because I've talked to everyone, it also shows that it's been obtained. If I click on farm folk, you can see I have 0 out of a possible 2. I've met only a few NPCs and have been seriously slacking on most of the farms, so I can leave this menu and hit M to open my map. And the obvious way to go get that knowledge is to visit these farms and talk to all the NPCs that I've missed out on. This is why I recommend trying to hit up every NPC in the area while you're nearby, so that way when you're questing and progressing through the map, you don't have to backtrack just to go talk to this NPC that you were at one point right next to. This account, since I'm making tutorials on it and it's not my main, is definitely more of a do as I say, not as I do. So talking to NPCs is the obvious way to get knowledge on them. You can hover over them to see if there's anything required to do to gain knowledge on them other than just talking to them. Like this one, for example, says I have to be level 15, so I probably wasn't when I came through here the first time. I can see, for example, these farms, I don't have knowledge on this. It would be easy enough to walk around and make sure I get all these nodes eventually. To gain knowledge on monsters, you simply smack on them and kill them, and once you've done this enough, you'll eventually gain some level of knowledge on them. If I go smack on this and I get grade of C, for example, or B, I can continue killing these monsters and level up my knowledge from a B, for example, to an A. You do not have to first get rid of your existing knowledge to get a better grade. You can just simply keep killing them and you'll eventually level up your grade all the way up until you have S. I'll hit H to go back into my knowledge here and click Ecology to see my monster knowledge. You can see here in this window recent knowledge, Vanguard, Rebel Barracks, Rebel Supply. These are some things that I was just smacking on and gained knowledge on recently. None of these are yet S, so I can continue to kill these and level up my knowledge. And you may be wondering, well, what's the point? Once I gain knowledge on everything and I have the maximum amount of energy available, why would I want to keep attacking the same monsters until I get S? The biggest reason is item drop rate. My total knowledge is 225. I've recommended this in the past, but in a previous video I've mentioned staying in an area until you get S grade knowledge on all of the monsters before choosing to move on and progress in your questing. When you get an S on a monster, you get 10 points to your knowledge. If you only get grade C, sure, you're able to see its health points and you have knowledge on that, and it can go count towards the maximum energy you're able to gain, but you can see by this chart you're only getting 1 point of knowledge. Staying in the area and killing the monsters until you have S on everything gives you 10 times the amount of points compared to just settling for a C. Once you have at least 500 total points, you are given an item drop rate plus 5% to every single monster that you kill. This does not just apply to the ones that you're killing at the moment and trying to get the grade S knowledge on. This item drop rate applies to any monster that you're trying to kill, even a brand new one that you don't yet have knowledge on. Item drop rate affects how likely you are to get rare loot. If you're very early on, you probably aren't going to care that much if you're every once in a while getting a rare drop of a level 20 monster. This comes into effect way more later on, when you are, for example, grinding for an infinite potion or a treasure piece. Having an extra 10 or 20% item drop rate can actually be huge. The item drop rate also affects your ability to get time-filled blackstones, so you're able to progress through your season pass faster, for example. If I exit out of all of these and hit P, I can look at the section called Fame and hover over Special Fame to see that my knowledge is also contributing to the amount of silver I get per day. If I hit B to look at my Black Spirit safe, I can see that I have collectible silver. This is the silver I'm acquiring every day just by logging in and hitting collect silver reward. This doesn't expire and can continue to just add up, so there's no need to collect it until you're ready. But it's nice to know that if I was, for example, short on silver today, I've got a guaranteed revenue stream even if all I'm doing is questing and not making that much silver. You can see here, the more that I level up my knowledge, I'm also able to get all the way up to 2.7 million silver per day instead of the only 600,000 I am now. As well as leveling up the special fame, this goes towards the total family fame and will eventually let you collect extra silver from your central market sales and give you yet another item drop rate plus 10%. So between the silver you receive per day, the item drop rate bonuses, and the maximum energy you get from gaining knowledge on NPCs and monsters and topography, you can see why this is an important part of the game. I wanted to thank a commenter on my previous video for leaving a question. I hope this was helpful to you, and if you have any other questions, please leave those in the comments below. Consider hitting like if you learned something today. Get subscribed to see if I answer your question in a future video. Consider joining me when I'm live streaming sometime. Otherwise, that's it for this quick guide. Until next time, see you then.